Hi kids, I'm Miss Roz and welcome to our art lesson. Today we're going to make a character for a story out of handmade leaves, and then we're going to add to the background to show the setting for the character. This will be an English language arts art lesson. You may have noticed lately that the temperature is changing and leaves are beginning to change colors in fall. Do you know why this is happening? It's because of the season that we are in. Who knows what season it is now? Fall. You might have noticed that in the evening, it is starting to get darker sooner than it did in the summertime. So the trees and the leaves aren't getting as much sunlight as they're used to. What are the colors that you have been seeing in the leaves? Yellow, orange, red, brown, yes, and some are still green. Today, when we make our characters, those paper colors will be excellent choices to use. Today, I'm going to read you this great book called The Leaf Man by Lois Ehlert. It's such a cool book. Her illustrations are animals and other things she made out of leaves, even a person, a leaf man and a leaf girl. She even made the tops of the pages so interesting by cutting different lines out of the top. So while I'm reading it, I want you to notice some of the things she created because you're going to make your own today. Also, notice the tops of those pages. And when I point to them, I want you to say the name of the line you see out loud. Later, I'm going to show you some of the leaves and we will be cutting and gluing them together to make our character. First, let's look at some of the leaves that I've found. You might want to go on a leaf hunt before this project to gather some. Look at all the shapes and colors there are. They're ovals. Some look like hearts. Some have wavy edges, and others have zigzag edges. They're all so different. I've even seen a diamond or a rhombus-shaped leaf before. Have you? We will be using our past lessons on the names of the shapes and lines that we see. What other kinds of leaves have you seen before? We have all different types of trees here in Louisiana, and each makes a different kind of leaf. There are oak trees, pecan, sycamore, birch, fig, satsuma, and many more. The Leaf Man by Lois Ehlert. Leaf Man used to live near me in a pile of leaves. Can you spot him? Look at this cool page. Curve line. But yesterday, the wind blew Leaf Man away. He left no travel plans. Look at this little guy. The last time I saw him, he was headed east, past the chickens. Towards the marsh, over the ducks and geese, a leaf man's gotta go where the wind blows. He blew over the field of pumpkins and winter squash. And he flew over the turkey, past the potatoes, carrots, and cabbages in rows. Then he blew out of sight. Is he drifting west above the orchards? Or over the prairie meadows? and past the spotted cows. Well, a leaf man's got to go where the wind blows. Maybe leaf man's gliding on a lake breeze. Or flying along the river. Following butterflies going south. Well, a leaf man's got to go where the wind blows. He might even be traveling north above leaves that look like him. Or flying over mountains with a flock of birds. When Leaf Man looks down on earth, is he lonesome for home? This I do know, where a leaf man will land, only the wind knows. So listen for a rustle in the leaves. Maybe you'll find a leaf man waiting to go home with you. Here's the leaf girl. Here's the leaf man upside down. Isn't that cool? And these are some trees. See if you understand some of these names. This is poplar, fig, cottonwood, birch, elm, hawthorn, beech, linden. Have you heard of some of those trees before? Let's look through the book really quickly and see some of the animals. I want you to start thinking about what your character in your story is going to be. Is it going to be a leaf man? Could it be a little squirrel? Maybe you want to make this cute chicken. How about a duck? Do you see how the illustrator put the leaves together to make the animals and the objects? These are all vegetables. And there's a little mouse. Here's the turkey. Look at those colorful feathers, but they're really leaves. Then he made trees out of leaves. Here's a little bunny rabbit and some butterflies. Here's the cow. That's a funny old cow. I love his ears. Do you like his ears? Here's a bunch of fish and some turtles in the water. Their setting would be the ocean. What would the cow's setting be? The farm. So think about where your character is going to be. Here's some more fish. Maybe they're in a pond or a river or maybe an ocean. I love these butterflies. Where are they flying? Maybe they're flying around your schoolyard on the playground. Maybe a bird flying ahead. This might be flying over the Louisiana swamp. So if you're starting to think about what your character is going to be, we're getting ready to make them. Maybe you just want to make a leaf man or a leaf girl, and that's fine too. You can even give them a name. Let me show you some of the animals I've created to get your brain thinking. Here's a little mouse, a little butterfly. So we can draw oval shapes. Then you can make some smaller shapes, and you could even draw parts of their body. Here's a little cat. Here's a little bunny. Notice the shapes of their ears. That helps the person know what you're making, if they have little triangle ears or long bunny ears. Here's a squirrel. I did his head, his body, and his tail. And then I just drew on some ears and his eyes, and here's a little hand. So you don't have to make all the parts of the animal. You want to see my silly chicken? Here's my silly chicken. And here's some fish and some turtles. When you make a fish, make sure you make their fins and their gills and their tails. And here's my little turtle. Here's my fish. Did you notice I drew the setting? Can you tell where this fish is? He looks like he's at the bottom of the ocean. I drew the sand and the rocks and some of the ocean plants. I could even give him a name. I could call him Freddy the Fish, and he would be my character in my story. And his setting would be the ocean. Maybe you want to make a dragonfly or a butterfly. Butterflies have two shapes that are the same on both sides. That's their wings, same as the dragonfly. Notice the differences in their wings. So you can make some of these, guys, or you can make your very own. Let's get our supplies ready. You need a piece of paper for your background. White's a good choice, black's a good choice, or even blue for a sky. And then you need some construction paper that could be leaves. I have 2 half sheets that are lengthwise, so my leaves can be 2 different colors. If you only have 1 sheet of construction paper, like this for your leaves, I want you to fold it in the middle, like this. I folded it like a hot dog. Then you will also need some scissors, a glue stick or a bottle of glue, and then your crayons, a selection of crayons. Are you ready to get started? Great. So, if you folded your paper down the middle, open it up, and I want you to cut down that line that you see. Remember, when you hold your scissors, you put your thumb in the little hole and your fingers in the big hole, and you chomp. Your thumb always has to be on top. And like this, that way you'll have 2 pieces of paper. So we're going to draw some leaves. I was thinking about shapes when we were drawing our leaves. So we're going to draw some simple shapes like oval, triangle. How about a heart or even a diamond? Let's get started. So choose your paper that's a leaf color, and you need a crayon to draw. Pick a dark color. Yellow and orange are kind of hard to see, so pick purple, blue, black, something like that. We're going to start at the very top so we can make a big shape. Put your paper long ways, and I'm going to start way over here on the left. Watch Miss Roz first. See if you can name the shape that I'm drawing. As soon as you know it, say it. What's that? Oval. Yes, it's not round like a circle, but it's longer like an egg. I'm going to make it look like a leaf by adding a little stem, which is just a little rectangle or square. Now watch me. I'm going to draw a vertical line and then some diagonal lines. Now, doesn't it look more like a leaf? Yes. So you've drawn your first leaf. Everybody draw your oval first, way on the left. Great. When you're ready to change colors, you can. You want to try a rhombus this time or a diamond? We call them the same thing. I'm just going to move over like a little finger space. I'm going to show you a trick. Some kids think drawing a diamond is difficult, but I have a little trick I'm going to show you. I'm going to draw a horizontal line, a vertical line, and then a horizontal line. It makes like a little cross, right? You see that? Can you do that now? Great. Now start at the top and connect all the ends of the lines. It's kind of like dot to dot to dot. Do you see your diamond now? It looks a lot like a kite, doesn't it? We're going to add our stem so it looks more like a leaf. This time the stem might be a little curved. And I'm going to add some more lines. So these are the veins in the leaf. That helps the leaf get water. So far we've drawn an oval and a diamond. I'm thinking about what shape I'd like to draw next. How about a heart? Have you ever drawn a heart before? I'm going to make it right next to the rhombus. When I make a heart, I put a little dot, not at the very top, but down a little bit like that. And then I put a little dot near the bottom. So have a little dot near the top and a little dot near the bottom. Hearts are the same on both sides. We say they're symmetric. So I go up and then go around all the way to the bottom. Now I'm going to do the opposite. That one looks like a letter C. Now I'm going to do the opposite, like a backward C. I've seen a leaf shaped like a heart before. What do we need to add next? A stem. I'll give you a minute to draw your heart, and then you can add some veins so it looks more like a real leaf, like this. So far we have 3 leaves. I'm thinking about all the parts of a character that we need. We need a head, we need a body, they might need some legs, they might need some ears. So you need to think about how many leaves you might need. This is 3. So I'm going to switch to my other color. If you have another color, now is a good time to switch. And let's make some other shapes. How about a leaf that has zigzag edges? Let's try that. Watch me first. Do you remember zigzag? I'm going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's one side of the leaf. Then I can go opposite. I'll go up, down, but I'm not going all the way to the middle. I'm just going to kind of try to make a zigzag shaped leaf. Then I'll add the stem. This side is similar to this side. They match. Add your veins. And then if you want to switch colors, you can. How about a wavy line leaf? I'll make a wavy line, kind of like a snake, on this side. And then I'll go opposite, kind of like this on the other side. And there'll be my stem. So now I've made some really great leaves. If you need to make more leaves because your character needs a little ear or a little leg, you have all this extra paper that you can cut and draw some extra leaves. Now we're going to be doing some cutting. This is going to be some big kid cutting, so I want you to watch Miss Roz when we're cutting. I pick up my paper and I put it near the edge. And I'm cutting around the shape. I have to use this hand to steer it. Do you see I'm turning my paper? I'm going to be careful not to cut off my stem. And then we're going to cut all of the leaves out. Choose one that you want to be for your head first and cut that one out. And then your body. As I'm cutting them out, I'm going to place them on my background so I don't lose them. And I want you to do the same. So here's our background. And I cut out this leaf and I'm going to lay it on this paper. When you're ready, start cutting all of your leaves out. It's kind of tricky. You have to turn your paper. And then place it on the background. So you need a head. You might need some body. Do you need arms and legs? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're making a fish or a butterfly. I'm not sure what you're making. So you don't lose your shapes. Place them on the background. Now this one is a little more difficult. If you get to a tricky one, you might want to cut the whole leaf out like this and then cut each side. And I bet if your teacher is around or if your parent is around and you get in a tricky spot, They can help you get out of the tricky spot when you're cutting. This looks a lot like a sycamore tree's leaf. I'm starting to play around with it. I'm putting my scraps on this side. Maybe I want the heart upside down for the head. Maybe I want the zigzag for the body. And let me show you a trick. Can I show you a trick right now? Can you pause cutting and look? Sometimes a leaf is the same on both sides. So if we need two of the same part, watch Miss Roz, I'm going to cut that leaf right down the middle. And magically, guess what I have? This could be two arms, this could be two legs, this could be a turkey's feather. So you can cut your leaves apart if you need to. Go back to cutting because we need to finish our project. This kind of looks like an elm tree. This one has wavy sides. This is another one of those tricky leaves. I'm going to let you finish cutting your leaves and then decide if you need to draw some other parts. Maybe you need to make some ears, and you can use your scrap paper for that to draw whatever you need. So if your teacher would like to press pause while y'all get caught up on cutting, now would be a good time. Other than that, I want you to start placing your shapes on your background. Play around with them. We're not gluing them yet. Move them around and see what you can make out of what you have. Once we have it in place, I'm going to show you how to glue it. But I want you to play around with it and make a plan. Artists usually make plans before they glue. So decide, I think I might want this to be the legs, Maybe if I turned it this way, this could be the shoe. I don't know what you're making. Maybe if I put this like this, this could be a little squirrel. Or a little mouse. This might be the head. If I cut another piece. So what we're doing is called collaging. So if you need to collage something, you do that. Once you have a plan in place, take out your glue. Let me show you a trick. I don't want you to take your shapes off. You're going to leave them where you have them. Watch Miss Roz. I'm going to take off my glue stick. I'm going to remember where I have this shape. I'm turning it over on the back. I'm drawing all around the edges some glue, and then I'll place it right back to where I got it from. That way I can remember it. I'm going to remember where this shape is. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to put some glue on the back, and then I'll place it right back down. So that's what I want you to do. So once you have your plan, you can start gluing your shapes. Now, you need to be thinking about your setting. Where is your character? Is he walking in a field? Is he at school? Is he on a playground? Where is he? I'm getting close to having my little creature, my little character glued. Now that I have all my little person's pieces down, I'm going to think about the setting, where I want them to be. Here's my leaf man named Larry, and you can see he's in the field with some trees and some flowers. I even used some leaf shapes for bigger trees way in the background. I wrote about it on the back. I said, my character is Larry the Leaf Man. The setting is in a pretty field with trees and flowers. So you need to think about where your setting is going to be. Remember my fish? He was in the ocean. So I'm thinking, here's another leaf man. I have this triangle shape, and earlier it reminded me of a kite. So I'm going to use it in my setting. Have you ever flown a kite on a windy day? I'm going to use it like that. I can use a crayon, and you could have a tail on the kite because that helps him to fly better. And then I can have a string that goes all the way over here to this hand, kind of like that. He's flying a kite. I'm going to think about where he is. If he's on the playground, he's probably running in the grass. So I can make some grass. Do you remember a great line for grass is zigzags? Like this. Great. Then we can't forget his eyes. You could make his nose and his smile. If you want to be funny, you could even give him some hair if you wanted to. He's your character. So wherever you made, I want you to draw the correct setting using the crayons. If you want to color the sky or the grass, whatever you want to do, you can do that as well. And I'm going to give you some time to finish. So I'm going to add a little more coloring to it. So when you have a minute, you can start coloring on your paper. I'm going to color some more green at the bottom for the grass. Also, if you have time, you can make a speech bubble and write the words your character would say. I'm going to show you mine that I made. So if you have a scrap of paper, you can write the sentence. Do you see what my guy said? Watch me fly my kite. Remember, I used quotation marks to open and quotation marks to close. So finish coloring your character when you get a chance. You can finish your speech bubble. When you are completely finished, I would love for you to tell a classmate or a parent the name of your character and where the setting is. I hope you enjoyed making your leaf characters. I would love to see some of what you have made. If possible, have your teacher or parent take a picture to send to the Acadiana Center for the Arts Facebook page and tag Acadiana Center for the Arts. Maybe during this fall, you can start looking for some really interesting leaves to start your very own leaf collection. Join us here next week. We will have more visual and creative movement lessons. Goodbye.